Hi families, my name is Brooke Harrison and I serve as the children's pastor here at Wildwood Community Church. We want to welcome you to our Awana ministry that meets here at Wildwood on Wednesday evenings throughout the school year. Awana stands for Approved Workmen Are Not Ashamed from 2 Timothy 2:15. In other words, believers are eager to share the good news of the gospel, and that's really what Awana is all about. Awana is a ministry that's been around for over 60 years now, and this ministry helps parents, helps grandparents, and helps churches raise children to know, to love, and to serve Christ. And we could not be more excited that you have joined us this year. And so today's video is going to share with you information that will hopefully help you as you lead your children and their scripture memory each week at home. Here at Wildwood, we have 3 clubs involved in our Awana ministry. Cubbies, which serves our preschool children, and that club is led by Melanie McCullen, April Hughes, and Denise Sober. Sparks is our club for kindergarten through 2nd graders. Gail Garceau and Becca Vermillis lead that club. And then TNT, which stands for Truth and Training, is our club for 3rd through 5th graders. Kimberly Robinson and Melissa Collier help lead our TNT club. Our director of midweek ministry is Melanie Gladhill, and she is supported by Sally Hargis and the rest of our children's staff team. If you ever have any questions about any details related to Awana, feel free to reach out to any of those individuals and they would be more than happy to help you. Awana meets on Wednesday nights from 6 to 7:30 p.m. throughout the school year. Now, our pickup and drop-off looks very similar to Sunday mornings, and during this current season that we're in, we've actually increased some of our protocols, and I'd like to share those with you now. We've increased hygiene and cleaning protocols throughout our whole children's building. Additional hand sanitizing stations are available, and children will sanitize their hands as they enter into the classrooms. When you arrive, be ready for a redesigned check-in process to help support a safe environment. Every staff member, every volunteer on Wednesday nights, and every child in our children's ministry will have their temperature taken before checking into the classrooms. We are unable to check anyone in that has a temperature of 100.4 or higher. All of our volunteers and all of our children, our elementary children from kindergarten through 5th grade, will wear masks as we are following the city's direction in requiring facial coverings. So please bring a facial covering for your child. If you happen to forget on a night, it's okay. We'll have some disposable ones ready. Also, we encourage you to consider only sending one parent or guardian into the hallways for drop-off and pickup, simply to help limit traffic in our hallways. And then finally, you'll see lots of big waves, but let's encourage our kids to avoid hugs, high fives, and handshakes during this season. It's going to take all of us working together to keep our children safe on Wednesday nights here at Awana. So please keep your child at home if your child has had a fever in the last 14 days, if your child shows any signs of any symptoms of COVID-19, or if they've been around anyone who has tested positive for COVID-19. When you arrive to church to check in your child, you will visit our kiosk where we will check your child's temperature. We'll go ahead and print off your name tags for the night, and then you're welcome to walk your child into the appropriate area for drop-off. Be sure to keep your pickup tag with you, as you will be required to show that when you come back to pick up. Now, there are some families that carpool together on Wednesday nights, and that's great. We just simply ask that you would stop by the downstairs check-in desk or welcome desk and drop off your pickup tag or give clear communication to our team so that we can know who in fact will be picking up your child on that particular evening. Also, a few helpful tips. When you are dropping off your child, whether it's Cubbies, whether it's Sparks or TNT, if your child has allergies or any special needs, we would encourage you to share that information with your leader until your leader really gets to know your child. It's also very helpful if you take some time to use the restroom. Encourage your child to use the restroom before drop off. And then it's also very helpful if your child wears shoes that are comfortable for a game time or for time spent in the gym. When your child is with us on Wednesday evenings, they will rotate through handbook time, which is when they will meet with a consistent leader from week to week, and that's the time when they will be able to recite their memory verse for the week. Most of our clubs will focus on one memory verse per week, with the exception of a few weeks when Sparks and TNT may have a couple of verses, but that's the time when the kids will get to share their weekly memory verse with their leader. In some clubs, they'll also take some time to talk a little bit more about the verse for that night. And then they will go into a large group time, and large group time is where they will be presented with the Bible teaching for the night. So in most of our clubs, we have guest teachers who will come in and they will actually teach on that particular verse for the night. And then your children will also rotate through a game time or gym time. This is a time that's really important. It gives them an opportunity to fellowship with one another and build community with other believers here at Wildwood. We are so grateful for all of our leaders that serve in our different clubs on Wednesday nights here at Wildwood. Really, without them, we wouldn't be able to do all the incredible things that we're able to do through the Awana ministry. I would encourage you to spend some time this year getting to know your child's handbook leader. They are students, they are parents, they are grandparents. We have leaders from all walks of life, and what I love the most is that they have willingly given up their Wednesday nights to come and spend time with these children and connecting them with Christ. And so they'll be discipling your children throughout the whole year. One way to get to know them is simply by introducing yourself at drop-off or pickup. You'll also notice the name of your child's leader will be on a sticker located on their handbook. And our leaders, just so you know, they have gone through our background check process and our training. And we couldn't be more thankful to have such an incredible group of people investing in the next generation through the Awana ministry here at Wildwood. One thing that we would ask your help with is that from time to time, our leaders get sick or they have work commitments. And so we always are needing parents to step in and substitute. So we're asking that you would consider giving up one Wednesday evening in the fall and then the spring semester where you would be willing to help as a sub and come in the event that one of our leaders is sick or has a work commitment or is unable to be here. We're also still recruiting leaders for this year as our clubs are growing. So feel free to connect with Melanie Gladhill, our Director of Midweek Ministry, for more information on how you can get involved with subbing or being a consistent leader here on Wednesday nights. No matter what club your child is involved with, whether it's Cubbies, whether it's Sparks or TNT, your child will bring home a handbook that they will follow throughout the course of this year. Now, the most important thing to notice is the handbook is that you will be able to find a calendar that will look similar to this. On this calendar, it will have the date, it will have the verse for that particular week, and even a page number. And so as you are working with your children at home, be sure to reference this calendar so you can know which verse we are studying and which verse we are encouraging your children to come prepared to recite when they show up for Awana. Now, in most of our clubs, you will notice that there's one verse assigned to each week. With Sparks and TNT, there'll be a few occasions where there might be two verses, but we really encourage you to focus on the verse that's assigned for that particular week because that's what we'll be teaching on. That's what all of our activities will go with. And so just make sure that you pay attention to those calendars in your child's handbook. They're extremely helpful, and that will kind of keep you on track for the year. Also, these are the calendars that we use that help us determine what award your child will get at the end of the year. For us, completing a book involves completing the calendar that we have given you in each handbook. So you will notice in our handbooks there are more verses than what we've assigned for the year. We will base the awards off of the verses that have been completed on the calendar. So for example, this is a TNT book, and if my child completes every verse that's on this calendar for the year, they will be eligible for a book award. They're more than welcome to go in and memorize any additional verses that are in this book, But for the purposes here at Wildwood, they are required to do their best in trying to accomplish these verses for this year, and that is what will earn them a book award. Each club will be working through the same book together, the same verse on the same week. And we absolutely love this model. Instead of kids working on all different verses at all different times, we love all of our clubs focusing on the same verse at the same week, because then we're able to teach on that verse. All of our activities can center around that verse, and it just seems to be a great way for our leaders to help disciple our kids throughout the course of the year. If you've been involved with Awana before, you have probably noticed that awards are a big part of the year. Now, in our older clubs, our children will get rewarded candy when they memorize their weekly verse, but then they'll also receive sticker awards throughout the course of the year, and then most of the time they want to know about the big award that they will receive towards the end of the year at our awards ceremony. In our parent packet right here, you'll receive one of these, and make sure that you get one of these and read through it, because there's lots of helpful information about the Awana ministry here at Wildwood. But one thing I want to point out is in your packet, there is an award page where it will show you what award your child is eligible for at the end of this year. For our purposes here at Wildwood, we want to make sure you know that a completed book means that your child has followed that calendar that we have provided, and they have memorized those verses in the calendar for the year. You'll want to make sure in your parent packet that you look at the calendar that's in the parent packet, because it's going to show you exactly when the awards night is. Now, our awards night is every spring. It's going to be a night you don't want to miss, so make sure you pay attention to that. You'll also notice on our calendar that we have some theme nights throughout the year, and we have a Grand Prix in the spring. And so be sure to take a look at those dates in your parent packet, and keep in mind, for our theme nights, they are all about fun. We don't want anyone to go out and spend a lot of money on anything. Just find what you have around the house, and that will work just fine. All children must be registered to be a part of the Awana program. If the registration fee is difficult for you or your family, please know that we will not turn away any child. We do have scholarships available, so just connect with one of our staff team members. I also want to make sure that you know what your registration fee is going towards. Now, we've talked a little bit about our handbooks that each child will receive, and that will guide our teaching and our Bible verses that we'll memorize throughout the course of the year. But we also use those funds towards our awards and our award stickers throughout the year, for our game equipment, for candy, which the kids absolutely love, for leader appreciation. We really cannot appreciate our leaders enough for all that they do for our children on Wednesday nights. We also have an Awana store once in the fall and then once in the spring that your children will get to be a part of. We put those monies towards our Grand Prix that will happen in the spring semester. That's something definitely to look forward to. And then special events, our theme nights, and birthday treats as well. I want to make sure that all of you get a copy of the Awana Parent Packet for this year. Inside this packet, you will find all the information that you need to know to really help support your child at home throughout the week as they are memorizing their scripture or the assigned memory verse for the week. Inside this packet, there are the helpful calendars. There's all the award information, just so you can be clear on which award your child is eligible for at the end of the year. And then I also want to point out the pickup and drop-off procedures are inside this packet, but then there's also really helpful information on getting connected to our children's ministry through our social media feeds and also through our text messaging system. Now, the social media feeds are great because every week you're going to find that there's a post on there with the memory verses for each club for the week. And I know with my family, it's been really helpful if I'm in carpool line or I'm waiting to pick up a sibling from dance. I can pull up that social media feed and I can see what the week's memory verse is, and we can work on those sorts of things even while we're on the go. So please make sure that you're subscribing to our social media channels and to our text messaging system. Both of those things are very helpful too in the event that we have to cancel for bad weather or something like that. So make sure that you check out that information in your parent pack. This is going to be very helpful to help guide you throughout the year. So again, when your children come home, be sure to take a look at their handbook, get familiar with their handbook. Make sure that you notice that calendar that's inside their handbook, and this is what's going to drive your weekly memory verse for your child throughout the year. So it's going to look a little bit different than what's maybe offered throughout the book, but this is the calendar that you will want to follow, and that will be located in your child's handbook. So no matter whether they're Cubbies, whether they're Sparks, or whether they're TNT, you're going to want to take notice of that particular calendar, and it will list out the weekly memory verse or verses on some weeks. And those are the verses that you're going to want to work with your child on for that particular week. And again, we cannot thank you enough for partnering together with us as we plant faith in the next generation. We look forward to an amazing year at Awana. As always, if you have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to reach out to our children's staff team.